Hey folks, alcaras here with a post-game discussion. We've got Frederik, who won this recent game. Congrats, Frederik.
Hey there, man. Thanks.
And as you can see, let me actually screen share so Frederik sees what I'm seeing. Um, as you can see, as you probably watched my turn 70, I was like, oh, I'm worried. He's stronger. I don't know where his forces are. And then you saw his turn 70, all the forces moved to division. And this was the outcome where all the forces came and basically killed everything. I was 3 years away still from a citadel. I definitely should have picked up that seventh law earlier. But even then, I don't think it would have been enough. But that seventh law timing attack, oof, 8 strength is so strong.
Yes, it's hard to find something that can fight these. I think on infantry you have it easier. Macemen can at least somewhat deal with strength 8 infantry,
Yeah.
but and the gap for the
The gap.
anti-cavalry
Yeah.
between spears and pikes.
It's
I
a
mean,
long gap.
there's camel archers, but they get the bonus defensively as well. So they're
Mm-hmm.
kind of okay-ish, but they aren't pole arms, so you can route through them still. So it's still
Yeah.
they're
And then,
great versus Thousand Cavalry, but gets kind of wrecked archers.
yeah, they're 7.5 versus 8, so it's
Yeah,
not that great. And
all
yes,
the other promotions aren't as strong on them since their base strength as lower.
yeah. Then there's the Greek unique unit, which is nice because it does fill that gap. It
Yeah,
gives you 6 strength spearmen, but
or 8
um,
strength.
or 8 strength, yeah. Well before infantry square, but I feel like, yeah, Greece. Then what tech do you go? Because like you want to go longbowmen so you have range, but then infantry square is there, which kind of is actually better than your unique unit against mounted. So like I don't know. I have questions about the Greek unique unit. So anyway, this game. Small map size felt a lot better. We actually got to fight each other before turn 100.
Yeah, still feels like large from the previous
Yeah, it'd be
before the
interesting to
map
see how
changes.
Duel feels. Whether Duel is actually like not too small. Might be worth trying a game on Duel to see
Just
how it
feel,
feels.
I mean, I don't mind the like this size is
This
fine,
size
but
felt good.
everything
Yeah,
larger feels like
yeah,
why are these sizes there for dual?
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think they're not there for Duel, right? It's just consistent map sizes so that you can have like you can play an FFA on a huge map and have tons of room for people. You could even probably play an FFA on a large map.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's good because you can just load up a map in single player or network and get a feel. I like the consistent map sizing personally. Yeah, the timing attack right around turn 75, 70-ish, just really devastating. Ships, of course, again, super important. And also you did a great job. I think you did buy tiles with colonies. Is that right?
Yeah. I forgot to switch back.
Yeah.
I had the judge previously as a for a short time because he was the what's it called? He took
Regent.
over when the regent as regent when I got another leader killed. Uh,
With your elephant up north, right? I watched
yeah.
the replays. And you got an elephant from that event, right? Like I didn't see
No,
it.
still
Otherwise I
there.
would have freaked out and I was not as adept in the tooltip, nested tooltip dark arts that you've since taught me. So now, next game, I'm like, why are you at a war elephant on turn 10 or something, or whatever
No, that
turn?
was I think
Yeah,
around turn 30. So
yeah.
I mean I don't know what happened there. I reported it as a bug. I'm not sure
No,
if it counts as a bug. I think it was like this was one of the events that was like complained about in the multiplayer sphere very early.
yeah. I
Just
mean,
getting in war elephant early is just
it's a six
such a
strengther.
huge power
Yeah,
spike. Power spike. Yeah. Maybe they just have a timer limit, so it's only after turn 30 or something. I don't know
yeah. I think it is
what
after
the
turn
limiter
30.
is.
So I'm glad I didn't try building a lighthouse here because your biream would have killed my lighthouse, and I didn't have any bireams. I probably should have built some defensive bireams early. I was just didn't have tempo for that. Um, I didn't
Yeah,
really
same
see.
for me actually, because I mean you didn't build any ships, but I couldn't know that
Yeah,
you
I
had the
had
tech
navigation.
very early, way
Yeah,
earlier than I had. So I had the resources for the lighthouse like way before I started the Acropolis. But I was always, I don't have the law enacted, and you can see that I don't have the law enacted. So if
right.
I start the lighthouse you basically have enough time to rush out a Byreme and
Yep, and then come say
over.
hi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I similarly was like, I don't have a Byreme and I'm not going to rush one out, so I'm not going to be able to defend it. And yeah, I don't want to lose it because losing wonder is horrible. I didn't actually get decent vision until like turn 60 or so. I think I just needed to prioritizing moving scouts over even sooner. It was tough. Egypt doesn't have as many orders. Yeah, I was pretty blind as to what you were doing. Had no idea about the orator strat. I remember being like, oh yeah, there's some, you've got some Thracians just chilling on those hills. That's interesting. Why would you have Thracians? I didn't realize you just did not produce any military units until after turn 50. So
Yeah, that worked out pretty well. It was the first time I tried it out actually, or at least in a full game. It was our last game that made me think a bit about what other leaders could be good for Persia.
Yeah.
Because Persia has the most leeway in terms of orders.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
From other nations. So with other nations, you're usually stuck on schema if there's any tribes.
Yep.
And yeah, with the clerics, it's really, really easy to get some friendly relations going with your families.
Yeah, you got particularly lucky, I think, with that cunning event, and also your religious leader didn't have any negative modifiers. In one of my games, my religious leader is proud, which is just horrible because they're just minus 40. And unless I do stupid intercession tricks with their family leader, there's no easy way to get them.
If you get unlucky, you're a bit out of luck, but still, your cleric's family should always convert.
Yeah.
So you have at least one family friendly, and then if it spreads to one of the other family seats, you should get some random conversions too.
Yeah, you're just reliant on random conversions. You can't force them with the conversion. I think the key insight that I didn't really register for me until you pointed out is if you're friendly with the head of your religion, you can have them convert other people to that religion well before metaphysics. It still costs civics, but it's not gated by metaphysics.
You don't even need it as a state religion like with metaphysics. Metaphysics requires you to have a state religion, which makes it.
Oh, you can convert to any religion?
Yes, so if any head, even if the head of the religion needs to be from your faction. You can use other factions' heads. But if the head of paganism likes you, you can also convert to paganism.
All right, I didn't actually realize it didn't require state religion. That's interesting that metaphysics.
Only the metaphysics, because that's specifically convert to state religion.
Yeah, I see. As opposed to convert to any particular religion.
And that's also what makes paganism worse than other world religions, because you need
divine rule.
Can convert. You need to divine rule to put it as a state religion to actually convert people.
And then swap back from divine rule, probably, because you don't want to actually stay divine rule forever, unless you're doing like
you need to. You lose the state religion.
Oh, it goes away. You can't hold it. Oh,
nope.
I didn't realize that. It shows you how much I've tried that. Yeah. Relatedly, random thing. If you swap out a scholar on inquiry, the inquiry will finish that turn. Could you, in theory, swap in a scholar, rush with orders, and then swap in an orator? It'll go away.
Judge and rush the inquiry.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah. Sorry, not
the
rush
inquiry
orders.
Goes away on the next turn if it doesn't finish.
Right. So in theory, every turn
then fill the queue up, put in a judge, rush out. Buy those all out.
Doesn't the queue clear? The queue clears. I think the queue clears once.
Yes, except if you put the scholar in right back.
Oh, if you put this, you rush all of them and then swap the scholar back in. Yeah. Okay, so in theory,
like all the projects, in the queue that they decay, but you can
10% a turn, I think.
Quite a few. But of course, it's you need a bunch of civics to swap the people around. You need quite a lot of money to rush these out.
Yeah,
they are expensive.
It is kind of an edge case, but in theory, if you are for some reason really rich and have a lot of civics and need science very badly, you can do that. All right, so let's talk nation selection.
What I have done is just if the scholar dies and the inquiry
is still, then you rush.
I put in a judge, rush the inquiry, and then use the judge to build further specialists.
For more to get civics
inquiry production until I have another judge
or another scholar.
Another scholar again. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's totally the way to go. All right, nation selection. I was trying Egypt with all scholars, or all the families that give you scholars. Clerics, I think, have 5x odds. Landowners also, or clerics and sages. Clerics have 5x odds. Sages have 10x. So I was like, I'm going to pick all the scholars, and I'm going to have lots of scholars doing inquiries. that's not really viable. You need to build up a city to be able to reasonably do inquiries. Doing like an
Yeah.
inquiry 2 over 10 years is not really an efficient use of that production queue at all. So I think it was just a
And
bad strategy idea.
like on the bigger maps, like maybe if they're bigger than this, you
Mm-hmm.
can maybe build up 2
Yeah.
dedicated cities. But on this, building up 2 cities is really a stretch
Yeah. And in
for
one of my other
increase.
games, I'm trying on
I
this
mean,
size
I'm
map.
kind of doing it as well with the Statesmen and the
Yeah.
Clerics.
Statesman is a very natural place to do it. Sages is also a very natural place to do it. But yeah, it was an interesting strategy. What made you choose Persia?
I just wanted to try the strategy and I mean, you can probably, I'm not sure if you can pull it off with a Hunter start as well. With the Cleric, it's the most easy
It's secure.
since
Yeah.
you just get the religion on turn 1.
Yep. Yeah. And that gives you orders
You could
instantly from the
probably
clerics.
go Hunters and then Clerics and still pull it off.
Yep. I mean,
But
I think if it's an amazing hunter site, you really need to, right? Because you can't found clerics on on a site like this. Like this city site, you have to found hunters. There's no choice. So
but also I mean, the strategy worked here very well, but it has I mean, there's some risks involved with the opinion from
mhm.
different archetypes, different traits,
Yeah,
and such. And when there's a random timer when the family converts after
yes,
the majority
it's not
is
instant. I
on the
thought it was the next
religion.
turn, but it's not. It
So
can take a while.
it's not always the next. I think after up to 5 turns or so.
Oh wow,
It can take a while.
yeah. And then family choices. I think here, clerics obviously, hunters obviously. What was your thinking on statesmen versus riders?
I just think statesmen are too good a family to pass up. Just the orders, the
Yeah,
ability the seed that can build decrease.
no.
They're also the only judge family you have.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're unlucky with any random judges for the other families, that's the one family that you pretty much always have judges available.
No,
They
no.
have their primary judge, I think. They have 10 times
10
judges.
x judge. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and you're fine making statesmen into military cities with the judge powering
of course. But I mean, aside from the special traits you get from riders and hunters,
Mhm.
the only thing military family provides is an extra 2 training. And if you have
Yeah,
a full set, my usual set of 2 elders and 2 apprentices,
yeah.
multiplied by the set of barracks and rangers, or even just
It's
2
minor.
elders in
Yeah,
2 barracks is already a good military production city without the extra
yeah.
+2. I mean, +2 helps, of course,
Of
but
course, we'll
it's
take every
fine
+2 you
without.
get. Yeah, yeah. And I was thinking, like I said, the max strategy. I chose landowners. I think in retrospect, I messed up what I founded.
Not that good a landowner start. I
It's
think
not that good a land
you should
oversight.
have some more crops to really
Yeah,
justify it, or some. I mean, you bought quite some tiles, but you didn't really see too much
yeah.
on the
I
initial
yeah. I think it was not a it was
reveal.
yeah it was not a great enough landowner site. In fact, this was the only landowner resource in this city. So I think it should have been a cleric site, and this should have been this should have been like I don't know where I would have put my rider seat. Like this is an amazing production city, but it has horses.
Yeah.
This is also an amazing production city. It also has horses. Well, not amazing,
Yes, and
but
I lucked into another ore, which was also part of that,
yeah,
of course.
yeah,
I got quite lucky with quite a few things to line this
yeah,
timing up so
yeah.
perfectly.
No, I mean that's the game, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not, but I think definitely clerics, and then maybe just be whatever. This is too good of a city not to be a rider seat. Just make that the rider seat. Make this a second rider city, and then found
Or
a
at least
third
not the
sages back
cleric
here.
seat, which
Yeah,
you
do
want
not
to
make it a cleric
military
seat
family.
because the clerics do not. Cleric seat does never because of the double holy city. You never really want to build military units in the cleric seat, so you're just missing out on so much free civics. Like I didn't do anything to build up civics in this city, anything, and it's at 14.8 with a governor that gives you 6%, and I did a lot to build up this city, and it's at 15.6. Like so no effort and almost as good as the one I put a lot of effort into, and like yeah, just not worth it. And I'm not actually that keen on sages. I I don't think they're that good a family at the moment. So barring stupid doctrine tricks, which I'm not sure that are not sure how overpowered that is. I think it is pretty overpowered because being able to rush with orders with an orator because of orthodoxy, thanks to the doctrine.
But I think we both expect this not to stay around.
Yeah, I don't think it'll stick around. All right, so starting leader archetype, orator for you, builder for me, same reasons as last time, so I don't know that we necessarily need to go over them. I think I'm souring on builders right now. It does snowball. I mean, it was a good start, like definitely a good start. Like this city got up and running.
You can look at the improvements in the first, I think, in turn 20 or so, and I think it's like 16 versus 26.
Yeah.
So you do get quite ahead in improvements.
You passed later thanks to the order.
In the capital,
Yeah, it does give you a big eco power rounds.
It's just that if I don't need to produce any units at some point, I'm just catching up in builders and then starting to overtake you again.
Yeah, workers produced.
Orders and builders.
You built more workers than I did, despite me having a worker leader. Yeah.
And I lucked into one of the in a builder for myself. For the Hunter City, which also put in a lot of work. So.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the orator fuel, legitimacy fueled tribal unit snowball and how to pull it off. I've tried this in a couple games as well now. They're still ongoing, but I have a better feeling. So walk me through, like, how does it work? You scout for your first tribal site, right?
In terms of the tribal mercenaries, yes, it's just like you need to be pretty opportunistic, I think. Just send your early military unit out. If you just find some regular barbarians and you can just clear them by itself, then you clear them. If you do need to, if it's too late and you can't clear it by yourself, then you just grab one of the barbs, even if you can't upgrade it further. But you just take it anyway, use it to block some city sites that would respawn.
Yeah.
And you're looking for good tribal units, of course, if you can get them.
Yeah,
and then you grab some and you upgrade those to strength 6 as your training allows.
But I think you're going for what, 2 or 3 or 4 ones at 6, probably 2 or 3 at 6, ideally. And you're going to be training gated anyway.
It kind of depends how it's going. I mean, in the end, I had 6 or 7 in this game. There were like 3 at the front and 4 in the back.
Okay.
But not all fully upgraded.
Yeah. But what was your sort of killing party that went around and killed camps? Was it just 3 pretty much?
I can't even quite remember the exact number.
I can check when you're in the VOD where you're warrior.
I mean, it's just opportunistic. You clear camps and you send them further out or wait a few turns to get another round of healing and upgrades in as the training allows, and you send them out. And if you either find another good unit or you need to grab one because the existing set of units isn't strong enough, then you just grab another one.
Okay, but it is worth.
It's just like for Persia, I count these as in terms of pastures. Like if I'm spending 10 legitimacy, that's 2 pastures worth of orders.
Yeah, not a big deal.
Yeah. And I didn't get up to 20 in this game.
Yeah, I think you're at 16.
I think
seems really low.
And I don't think you want that much. Maybe even be too much, just from you don't have enough training to upgrade them all.
Yeah, I'm minus 30 in one of my games, and I can tell you that's too much. So the training is the gate.
Tribes stick around long enough that they get the upgrades themselves, and you can grab maybe another one or 2, but they become also very expensive at that point.
-5 or so, yeah, it becomes pretty tough. And it is an opinion hit, which does add up. So you can't just keep buying them all the time. I mean, I think probably somewhere between like if you've got perfect where you've got the right unit in the first 3 pickups and you have lots of training to upgrade, then in theory you could get away with 6 and just have those 3 units walk around and kill everything for you. The warrior event,
Warlike is pretty good just for a bunch of training from all your cities.
Yeah, I think the best units to look for are, I would say the Scythians are probably the best because they have that 3 movement, which is amazing. And they have the 10% strength versus ranged. Then I think I would rank the Numidians next because of the 3 movement again. The 25% strength on sand, there's not enough sand for that to matter, but 3 movement is just so nice in terms of mobility.
On Inlet Sea, the sand is usually at the borders of the map, so you're fighting close to the lake usually. So. And
then probably the Thracians because the Peltast line is so good with that free hill
big
Highlander,
bonus from hills where you also get extra range.
but it is a little slow in terms
Like in
of.
general, ranged units I think are better because you only have 2 fatigue,
Yep.
and you have
Yep.
at least some chance to get in range.
Yeah.
A bit more chance to get in range. And
Yeah, I think Danes and Gauls are hard because they're melee, and your unit is usually going to be lagging behind your other units. So, and I usually have my ball of warriors adventure with them as well.
I mean, for clearing tribes, it doesn't really matter. You can
That's true.
just theoretically grab anything, even just random skirmishers or
Yeah.
random melee cavalry or even one of the special melee units. They will clear. I mean, the tribes aren't playing intelligent enough to like move out of the forest if you have a gazetteer from the Gauls or such. But as a player will absolutely, if you come with 4 gazetteers, they will not engage you in the forest.
Yeah, no, they run away. Yeah. And then, you make friends with the religious head, and then I guess the initial strategy with the orator, which was sort of bounce back, is you influence your religious head. That with because orator gets a passive plus 40 to
That's
all.
for the religion, not for the head, but it comes in handy for the family opinion.
Sorry? Oh yeah, it's plus 40 for religion opinion, but yeah, okay. So you still influence the head.
The basic set of opinion that gets you to 100, which holds true for your state religion, is like state religion gives you 40, influence gives you another 40, and then it's being of the same religion. So your leader needs to be of the religion.
Yep. And that
gets you another 20. And that
gets you to 100, right? And pray that you don't have a negative trait. And it can be easier if your head of religion is the same trait, same one to you. Like you're both orators. Congrats, you win. You just get it instantly as soon as you influence, or as soon as you convert to state religion.
But yeah, I had one game. Well, there's one game with that, but you also have to be careful that you don't slow your initial expansion too much by spending those 200 gold or money.
Yeah, I may have a game
because
where
oftentimes if you don't have a good food start, then you need to buy the food for your second settler.
Yeah.
If you don't get these settler outs, you don't get your order snowball running from the orators. So you delay the getting the opinion up from your family.
Yeah,
so you need to find the right timing, or you're slowing yourself down.
Yeah, getting 2 orders.
You're running very tight on pretty much all the resources.
Yeah.
When doing this, like you need a lot of civics for all the religious stuff, like state religion, converting religion, converting with your leader. You want theologies to have the religion spread, and then you need
monotheism,
your first law, and
serfdom,
and eventually maybe an early wonder, or you need to pay for a marriage, and so it adds up a lot, and you're a governor or 2, and you're running really low on civics.
Yeah, I think,
and then also, I mentioned the resources for the early settlers, so you can use harvesting for that with your initial scout. And you go through your training with your tribal mugs.
Yeah, I would actually not assign
everything
generals.
Is basically accounted for.
Yeah, I wouldn't assign generals early. It's not worth the generals, and you want that 100 training badly.
Except you have a very good general. Then
unless you have an amazing general, but like someone who's not great, just don't even bother. You want to upgrade your unit. Yeah, no, I mean, I hear you on the food thing. I think in one of my other games, it's turn 20. I have 2 cities because I spent all my money, and I'm like, wait, I can't buy anything. Oh no. I ended up recovering from that, but like it is a very fine balance. I like it a lot actually as an opening because I think it forces you to pay attention to all the pieces of the game and keep everything balanced. And it just feels very good, and it lets you focus very aggressively on eco because you don't need to worry about early military production. So it snowballs really hard.
Yeah, if you can get the balance right and have a bit of luck, it can snowball really hard, like it did for me in this game.
Yeah.
You can theoretically pull it off with any cleric faction, but I think Persia is just the best suited for it. That's the easiest way to make up for the orders that you lose through legitimacy. You get an extra bonus from harvesting.
Because you're going to have orders for harvesting early on.
If you're low on resources, you can get more in those early turns for the same amount of orders.
Yeah.
And then a good hunter city can make up for a lot of money. But money is the other thing that can get very tight.
Yes.
Because the tribal mercenaries cost money. They added that in a patch
Yes,
before.
there is upkeep. There is
And
upkeep for
when you
traveling mercenaries.
start to upgrade those troops, they do cost quite a lot.
Yep, and if you don't pick up vassalage early, then that you're looking at -8 for the 6 strength one every turn because they're outside your borders. I definitely delayed vassalage in one game, and then I was like, why am I broke? And then I was like, oh. And that was the game I was at -30 legitimacy.
Units, they're
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
strong, but also very expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You can
kind of
definitely
expensive.
you can definitely overbuy too many units as well because they do cost money. So like, sometimes I think it's worth taking a little longer to clear a camp if you're not going to lose any units doing it, than just like, because my initial instinct was I come into a camp and then I'm like, okay, I buy all these guys and clear this. Like, there's no point doing that, right? If I can kill them safely without losing units, I should just kill them. And like, there's no rush. You're going fast. You're not going to be able to settle all the sites you clear, so right away.
And at that point, at the early point, you don't have the autos quite to move to use all those troops. Anyway.
Exactly, and they're just going to sit
So
there
you're
draining maintenance. Yeah, draining maintenance.
But you also don't want to go too slow, since then
No.
then the camps build up more troops, so it can get harder, or you need to buy more. So it's.
I think you buy aggressively in the early on, and then if you see any good units and you have training, you like buy them. But like once you've bought, like, I don't know, you probably shouldn't go past -20. Realistically, like that's buying
pretty high.
Yeah, that's pretty high. Like, start thinking about your choices at -10. Once you bought 5 units, that's probably, you should think about upgrading. It's well worth the time to pull it back, heal it up, and upgrade it to 6. It's going to be much more effective. Don't run around with like -3s, like 3 strength ones. That's not a good use of the strategy. Okay, let's talk about laws and theologies. And with this strategy, like, how do you? There's like we said, there's a lot of civics. There's state religion. There's legalism. There's revelation. There's monotheism. There's navigation. There's religious holy site. There's religious conversions. There's an early wonder. There's the leader as the governor. There's marriage. Lots and lots of civics.
Statesmen come in handy here. From
Persia, the free 400. Oh my lord, it is so huge. Having played this with Egypt and with Persia, that 400 civics, it's so welcome because it just removes a ton of problems.
Persia can help you on any frontier. So
I think
best with them.
In terms of the influence strategy, like, you definitely, I think I would almost argue you want state religion before monotheism, because you're not going to have that many cities early.
Yeah, and monotheism doesn't give you anything without a state religion, except for the ability to build garrisons.
Right, and garrisons are nice, but like they're a half order, so not much, where you get a bunch more orders from making people, like, enabling your friendly.
And you usually want to spend, usually saving up
stone for wonders.
Wonder.
Yep. And then I think, so state religion first, probably. Then maybe
also,
family
the
conversions.
law has civics upkeep, monotheism.
Yes.
Same with state religion, but state religion allows you to run the influence or the conversion. So that's, at this point, it's worth more.
Yeah, I think there. So then state religion, religious conversion, some of them probably need 2, right? Because your clerics will convert, and then you'll probably need to convert the other 2 because it won't have spread to their cities yet. Then
usually just the family heads.
Yeah, just the family head, and that's enough. So let's say we burn 200 civics there. Then are you looking for legalism, or are you looking for a religious holy site early? Or do you assign your leaders a governor, or do you save that civics? Or like, does it pay back because the leader?
I instantly assign my leader, usually.
Okay.
It's just, you get 2 growth
pays back,
from the leader, and you get a bunch of civics bonus, like the high charisma.
Yeah, so it pays itself back very quickly.
It should pay back over the lifetime, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
The math, but
in what cities are base 8 training, something like that, or base 8 civics? Let's see. Here's a new city. They're base 8. Yeah,
the basic is 8 for clerics. Yes.
Yeah, so you're gonna have
for every city. The base is 8. And clerics without monastery with legalism, you get it. I know you get 10 actually, because it's a holy city in the capital.
Right. So base 10. And I don't have the conversion for scaling handy for whatever.
Not sure what 4 is.
I need to math it out somewhere and put it in my spreadsheet, because I would like to know that.
30% probably.
Yeah, so that's 3, right? So 3 a turn, and it costs 100, and your leader's probably going to live more than 30 years. So yeah, it pays back, and the growth.
1 perk.
Yep.
Start with 1 perk. That's usually oftentimes beneficial for the city.
Yep.
Like in my case, I started with affable, which It's one of
Huge,
the best early
huge.
perks you can start with.
You want growth everywhere. I had intelligent, which was great, and I think it helped my science
Also a
lead.
really good perk, but
Yeah, yeah. But like growth is actually more
but for
important than
me,
science,
like I
really.
want to constantly
Yeah,
build workers and settlers and
yeah,
augurs, so
yeah.
that works
Absolutely.
out very well.
Yeah. So you've picked up state religion, religious conversions, you've set your leader as governor, and then are you looking for theologies or monotheism, or is it more just sort of? I think the religious holy site you get pretty late in orders, right? Or in
Unless you
like
pick up frugal, you probably
yeah,
delay this pretty
yeah,
late.
yeah, and it's just
I
culture
mean,
really.
sometimes you can delay revelation just because you get
Spread,
lucky with the
yeah,
spread,
yeah.
which is
Then
a huge cost. This costs 400 civics as well.
yeah. So I think then
So
legalism does
yeah,
get you civics back for monasteries. So that one I think is probably worth picking up because you're going to be building monasteries, and it improves spread. And
yeah.
then I think it's then like so. I think if our
I
textbooking
think
this
you
order,
delay cartography and serfdom. At least as Persia, since
mm-hmm.
you have enough orders with monotheism and your
mm.
pastures
Delay
and the
navigation and
orator.
serfdom. So because as Egypt, I definitely feel like I need the navigation
Yes,
early
of
with this
course. As
strategy.
all the other nations, you need serfdom. But if
Yeah,
as Persian orator,
yeah.
you can delay that.
Because yeah, the
And
pastures.
if you don't get pyramids, it's 400 civics for another law. Since you
Yep.
already have monotheism and
Yeah.
uh, you want to get everything else in order until you push towards 4 laws for
Yeah, I mean, ideally, you pick up pyramids before assigning any laws for maximum civic savings, but that sometimes I think you probably. I mean, yeah, you probably can't. If you can grab the pyramids, I would wait until pyramids because you don't need that first law that much initially.
yeah.
So like that
In
early
terms of
wonder.
early wonders, you want pyramids, and if not pyramids, you pick up the Great Ziggurat just because it provides civics.
Yep.
Pyramid saves a lot of civics. Ziggurat gives you 20 civics per turn. And
Yep.
since you're stuffed for civics for a very long time, those
Yeah.
are the two wonders to look for.
Yeah. Then uh,
Or
and
you
then
could just go to the Upper Dana. It's also 20 civics per turn, I think.
and a huge amount of money. The Apadana is so good.
Yeah.
I totally underrated it when I first started playing this game, but it's really good because it's an
A lot
additive
of the
production
upkeep is from, what's it called?
discontent. So
Not discontent. What's the Upper Dana reduces?
maintenance.
Maintenance, yes.
Yeah.
Always struggle to remember that one term.
Yeah, the red coin. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it is, and legalism also helps with that. But yeah,
Yes. And having families at friendly also helps
also
with
helps.
that.
Yeah, it's all these things snowball together. Yeah, and then I think or out of the other early wonders, Oracle and Hanging Gardens are probably nice
Yeah,
to
there's an
have,
argument for hanging gardens just
especially for the
because
growth.
you're
Yeah.
looking to have a lot of growth production
Yep.
going with the strategy.
Yeah.
But
200 wood though is
I mean,
really hard. So
not if you have the order. If you're already
if you can
starting to
chop, yeah, yeah,
snowballing your orders, you can chop quite a bit.
yeah. I think I would probably build Oracle first because just five tech card is so good, and the free agent network. Um, I don't know.
Yeah,
It'd be tough between Oracle. I mean, definitely I agree. Pyramids and Ziggurat,
yeah,
and then
yeah.
probably
Hanging gardens
Oracle.
is usually far behind the other three,
Yeah,
but
Hanging Garden feels like if I have stone and I can't get Apadana for some reason or Ishtar. Ishtar I think is also worth it depending on when you expand, although it's not that great if you haven't expanded. Um, like I don't know if I would Ishtar with like 5 cities. I would
usually
Ishtar
it's
with
more
10.
like if you're getting the wood from a goodie
Mm,
hut or event,
for
then hanging
for
gardens are
yeah,
easier.
yes,
Like the one of the tribes, the woodcutting tribe, can give you a bunch,
yes,
and suddenly you have the wood.
yeah, and or orders to chop, and then Apadana is great, and then I think Acropolis probably out of the strong wonders. So um, just for
Yeah, the
orders,
lighthouse occasionally, depending on the resources in this map, with the one coastal city, it's really good.
yeah,
It gives
Ishtar
enough
not so great.
coastal resources. Colossus is also pretty good,
Yeah,
but you kind of want that in a military production city for the level.
Righteous could probably give me late because strong. So
Yeah, and if you don't start on the coast
yeah,
or get an early city on
it's
the
not gonna
coast with
happen
a
for a
lots of
while.
culture, it's
Yeah,
uh,
yeah. All right, and then eventually you pick up Revelation, Monotheism, and Navigation.
Yeah, all the good stuff.
I mean, I think it is worth. So theologies versus laws. I think theologies first because spread in general. Although sometimes you may want to get one law if you need it for some reason for garrisons. But I think probably prioritize theologies over
I
laws.
mean, you get grab monotheism
Yeah.
for
Greg.
laws, but
Yes,
then
and
the
serfdom
stuff.
for orders. Yeah. Although, yeah, serfdom is non-Persian, but yeah. Um, and also, you mentioned marrying to specific families. Walk me through your thinking in terms of that.
In the last few games, I've been mostly marrying into the family with the inquiry pump, just to increase the chance for scholars.
I see. Okay.
Since politics students can make for some really good governors, picking up charisma, they have a chance for eloquent
Yeah.
from one of the events from politics.
Yeah.
So, and having an eloquent scholar is really good for building inquiries.
Yeah. Eloquent scholar with some nice charisma is amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. Sovereignty with the civics boost earlier. Like, so if you're, especially as Persia, you're not going for navigation early. What are you going for early tech wise?
Sovereignty.
Straight without mill drill?
Yeah, no, you go mill drill, you go husbandry, and the usual like stone cutting.
Yeah.
Maybe, I mean, if you're not going navigation, you don't have labor force, so you can grab spearmen easily. So you maybe go. I mean, with this strategy, you don't
Need spearmen
need a
or
strength
warriors
5
even.
unit.
You don't even need warriors.
You might want spoked wheel just for the chancellor.
Yeah, you do. You do need a husband. Yeah.
Depending on how your air situation plays out, you might want to grab that.
And you have to imprison
Either
when you're not
you have
doomed,
to
right?
imprison early now, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That can be risky.
Or
Which,
just either change the inheritance laws and
yeah, which is also civics. So
yeah.
yeah. So ironworking and husbandry. Yeah, I think you can delay labor for.
Any other way except for straight up imprisoning before the change, the previous year will hate the next year.
Do you feel drama and free settler is worth grabbing? Or is that like later after sovereignty? You want to get the science pump up,
Purely
right?
for the free settler, probably not. If your inquiry pump works well with poets, sure.
Yeah. Okay. So you're really into sovereignty, and then probably get forestry or portcullis. Well, what are you thinking after that sovereignty? So you've gotten, yeah.
That's how my wood upkeep is looking. If I really need forestry, if I have to
Persia,
be spending a lot of time chopping, then
I mean,
can
you will be
probably delay it a
spending
bit.
some because you're going to have monasteries, right? But as Persia, none of your units need wood, pretty basically, like except for spearmen if you're building spearmen, which you're maybe, I guess. Or you'll want to upgrade your warriors into spearmen potentially because I think they're better than axemen strictly. So yeah, so maybe I mean it can't hurt to get it. I think you did get lumber mills here, right? Or you did not?
Yes, I get.
You did. You did. I don't see very many of them. So
mostly
up in the
in the
north
city
here,
on
the
the
new cities.
river
Yeah.
and around the fire shrine in
Yeah.
the north on Hunter City.
So I think, but I would get portcullis before lumber mills, right? So
probably yes.
And yeah, the oracle is also nice for the agent because then you can, as soon as you have a spy master, you get sweet science from wherever they founded their their religion, which is probably a good science.
Yeah, but realistically, when you're delaying portcullis this much, you should have a scout in place to build some agent networks.
That's also true. But hey, a free agent network doesn't hurt.
Of course.
And then stone boost, probably worth taking because it can help make pyramids easier.
Almost every time.
Civics boost.
Almost every time.
Yeah. And then free settler when you go drama if you need it. Any other boost cards?
Welcome, maybe, if depending how the situation is looking, but with this strategy,
that feels like more of a reroll. Yeah, if for some reason you need to reroll, but there's a lot of early techs you need to take. All right, cool. Strategy and tactic wise, I think once you had your explosive start, your snowball, you just kind of set up a timing attack and then went not all in, but like committed to the attack with the Maceman card and land consolidation, and I loved the
you
maneuvers play.
turned weaker before I upgraded, so at this point,
Yeah, then you're like, oh, time to go.
yeah.
I mean, I think the military production score graph is kind of hilarious in terms of like, whoop, this is me at turn 60. I'm fine. There's nothing to worry about. Me at turn 70. I'm a little worried. And then I think your production just finished. Like, yeah, the snowball.
So I mean, yeah, it's
Yeah.
2 to 3 rounds of Peltons and then upgrading.
Yep. Absolutely. And I think that's another reason to get to 4 laws. You do want to prioritize 4 laws with tech so that you can get your unique unit started, right? So,
yeah.
Um,
There's also a case to be made for just attacking with the tribal mercs.
yeah, if the map is close, it depends a lot on the map and like where
If
you
you're not
are.
against a nation with
And
champions.
non-champions, yeah. But yeah, upgraded 6 units, you can do serious damage even if you don't kill him or kill them. They will just have to scramble and fall behind. And if you're,
you should be able to take a city or two because
yeah,
since you're slower with just 2 fatigue, the enemy should just fall back.
yep,
But you can easily take a city or two and just
yeah. And if they don't have
drive them
anything
off
with 6 strength,
territory.
it's actually really hard to fight back. I've definitely gotten rushed by Carthage. I think Fluffy did this strategy back in the day with a rush of units that he had bought and upgraded to 6 and been like, hello, with the zealot start actually, which was interesting because the training for the upgrade. Because Carthage can just buy with gold. And that was unpleasant. Yeah, so let's take a look at graphs. So mill score, explosion, science, basically even, and then I presume some of this is just all specialists coming online, right? So
yeah, the last 3 turns, a lot of specialists came online.
And inquiries are not
Just
in this right
officers
now.
are in the cities.
And you didn't have that many inquiries, right? So it was just,
I
think 2,
inquiries
1.
would start about now or shortly.
Yeah, if you weren't
We started
attacking, those would be inquiries.
First
So,
poet, I think, in the Clerics seat.
yeah. There's another
I
poet
would
there.
rush build a few more poets and then switch to inquiries, but
Yeah, now might as well
it's
go
more
for
for
the
the rush towards cataphracts.
Yep, that's true. To power that.
And also, since you're so low on civics, you can always just turn on
Council, yeah.
in your inquiry pump to get more civics out.
Yep. The hilarious graph is orders. If you thought my order advantage last game was good with Persia, this game you just even more. Like, I think you're almost double my orders here at one point, and then at one point almost triple my orders. Partly that is inheritance, but yeah.
Yeah, the final Orator picked up Robust as well, so...
Yeah, it's just like, okay, well,
I founded a few more cities right before.
Yeah, yep, for more growth. Yeah,
it was a luxury problem. I was just, while attacking, using all my workers. Like, nothing stopped while I was advancing, and that's usually not happening.
Yeah, usually that's very rare. Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of retrospective, I think definitely should have founded Clerics here, and like was just not a great landowner site, and I'm not convinced landowner is the right civ for the cleric. Although I can see like without sages, actually, cleric rider landowner is probably fine.
You don't need
sages.
Sages.
Yeah, sages is just for like me trying to farm scholars, which was not that useful, and also for stupid doctrine tricks, which
sages give you basically 2 things. They give you judges as secondary military production cities,
and scholars,
for an inquiry pump, which they are not the best in.
Nope, they just have that +2 civics.
Yeah, and so
yeah.
You have landowners, you have your judges there.
Yep.
You don't need the sages for
way
that.
Way better for growth.
You had a better inquiry pump as well as not as many scholars.
Yeah, I think ideally. I think ideally you want a inquiry pump family, which is generally going to be clerics or statesmen in theory. Although statesmen have no scholars, so you better marry into statesmen. But I mean, you should marry into clerics to maximize your scholars there if you have clerics. You want a military family of some variety, and you really want a growth family. I think that's kind of the way I think about this family selection for any sort of nation I play. It's very hard to play without a growth family. I think some nations like Carthage just don't have a natural growth family, and it can be really hard to get started.
Greece, yeah.
Yeah, it can be really hard to get started because of that. But yeah, hunters I think are by far the best growth family, and they paradoxically also double as a military family. So, because Sentinel is amazing, and yeah, Persia obviously gets hunters. It's kind of they're both growth and military, and then they get clerics as the inquiry, and then statesmen as just additional civics, because the hunters is doing double duty. I mean, hunters is just so strong. I feel like that 100% camps maybe should be tuned down to like plus 50%. I don't know. I would still build them at plus 50%, but 100%.
Yeah, I've been open record saying that as well. It's just
it's just
not sure if it's in general too strong, but I just don't like the fact that if you have two hunter growth resources in your start, it's your
you have to go hunters, otherwise you are shooting yourself in the foot. Because you're just going to be so far behind. Yeah, I think in terms of other mistakes, I should have gone 7 laws as soon as I could. I think I was worried about the cost from guilds, which is not, it's 90 gold. I have tons of gold. I think guilds, like neither of these is very useful to me right now, which is why I didn't want to pick them. Maybe I should have actually taken
elites. If the game goes long, eventually you get like usually one legendary city.
Yeah,
most of your wonders.
And storing orders is not that big. I mean, I don't know. I should have picked one of these. Maybe I think I picked guilds because I had money and I wanted training for upgrading. But like, it doesn't matter. I should have picked one of these to get to 7 laws instantly. I did eventually, but I waited like 4 or 5 turns, I think. Which,
as soon as you saw
as soon as I saw you have 7, I needed to go. Even as soon as you had 6, if I had the choice to go 7, I think you did beat me to 7. But like, yeah, I should have gone immediately instead of waiting. I was trying to fish for like sovereignty, which I still don't have. Another reason to prioritize sovereignty sooner. Oh my lord, I need to do that. Yeah. So, I think that was a mistake. How about you? What do you think went well? What went wrong? Or where did you get lucky? Just sort of a retrospective.
I got lucky with the characters, both with the Rich's head, then with the Thracian guy, which I was kind of so-so on. Like first, like picking up a kid with robust was. I thought it was amazing, but then the age difference wasn't. I realized that when my first leader was going to die, he was already going to be pretty old.
Mm-hmm.
But then he picked up Judge, which is amazing as it's a family-free judge. I can place him anywhere.
Yep.
So he basically built up the coastal hunter city for me.
Mm-hmm.
Got the 2 elder officers up there. I picked up Lucky Hunter Builder from a marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Which helped me get my resources online in the second hunter city, all the mines up there.
And then I think I've asked this before, but do you hard build apprentice officers, or if you have a judge, do you just buy them? Or does it matter? Like if it's a 3-turn build?
Mostly hard build apprentices.
Yeah.
But eventually, if I'm just like having enough money and I'm just trying to build up another city just to rush through everything.
Anything that you would...
in these early turns, it's you usually don't have that much money to throw around and not that many judges to put to cities. And a lot of the cities also don't have the culture yet to rush.
Yep. So there's no point. So you have to hard build.
All the other, it was basically these initial sets, like the 200 cities. I focused on culture. I mean, the coastal city has enough in the culture resources from hunters, and this city I specifically built the oracle there for extra culture.
Yeah.
And I think I put a luxury or 2 there as well.
And then tech-wise, you never got comp bow, right? Just never got it. So
no,
not needed.
I don't have like Lamumil's well late-ish.
The specialists are enough to power.
Yeah, for the
to power production.
I mean, they increase your production, and you do want them, but
not urgently.
Can come later.
They can be after 7 laws. So okay. Anything that you would have done differently, or things that went wrong?
Aside from not sending my leader to the front line and maybe not taking the ambition to kill units with the leader.
Yeah. Well, if come on, if you don't get your leader killed, it's not a proper game, all right? Like Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, it seemed
I
like it
mean,
would.
you can fight for years with your leader and take hits and not die. So
Yeah, and then sometimes it just sploops. Um, yeah, I mean, just beautiful timing attack. I love the Orator Snowball. Definitely gonna be playing a lot more Orator starting games. Probably is Persia. I have tried the Doctrine flavors or Egypt, and it's good, but I feel like you miss out on a lot of things that like just the orders from Persia. Statesmen is also a big miss because that's a lot of passive. That's so many like 5 statesman cities is 5 orders, which is just enormous. Then you add in pastures
yep,
like
and also a lot of civics.
yes,
Not just the 400 you get, but also since
yeah.
you are friendly, you get plus 6
6, they are
civics in
by
every
far the
city
best. They are
on
the by
top.
far the best. Like every other civics nation, every other civics family is +2. These statesmen are just chilling at this innocent looking +1 per year per family opinion, but that's really 6 at friendly or even 4 at cautious. Like
Yeah, really, really good.
yeah, like if it were like +2 at cautious and +4 at like friendly, that would still be really strong. So, and the decree in the seat is amazing for
They
like I
also
need more
make
orders.
for great specialist cities.
Yeah, because
You have
judges
like,
are predominant and they build them fast. So
yeah, I mean, you can use the judges too, but just
you can just hard build. Yeah.
similar to landowners, you just see a city spot with a bunch of early cultural resources.
Boom,
You
take it.
just plop down statesmen. If they're happy enough, you can just build your gem miners or
Yep.
dye fishers and such easily.
Yep. Makes sense. And then in terms of balancing your cities to, you didn't send any luxuries to this city. Let's see if you sent any to this city. No, doesn't look like it. Just how did you get your culture up in these cities so well? Just with the timing, right? Right. So
I mean, the Samarkand came online later
you got an oracle there,
than the other cities, yeah.
and then here I
And
guess the pearls.
did I build a monk in there? I don't think so.
No monk there,
Okay.
and no monk here. No monks.
Not sure, might have been just the one. I mean, there's some passive income from the lavender.
Yeah.
There's a gem mine.
Yep.
Oh, the
Inspiring
builder had
governor.
inspiring as well. That's
Okay,
also what
that's
I got
huge.
lucky with.
Yeah, I see.
That's,
Okay.
that's also quite a lot of culture.
And Oracle's good in the second production. I think like 2 UU production cities and the rest are like production of anything else is probably a good balance.
That's, in terms of wonders, I either put them in the Inquiry City just to
Yeah.
boost culture there, gets a strong faster, or in the military cities for unique unit production.
Yep. Depending on the wonder. Yeah.
And if you and with patrons, if you're using patrons for inquiries, then you want the wonders there because they get an extra bonus from having wonders in
Yep.
their territory.
Yeah. The patrons. All these little tiny little bonuses of
Yeah.
that are very easy to
And
miss.
since you're usually like with patrons, you usually don't have clerics. I
Yep.
mean, Assyria kind of you're running clerics, but you're running the cleric seat as inquiry pump probably.
Yep.
But with Hati or if you're using them
Greece or
for
Rome.
Greece,
Yeah.
now since you're usually founding paganism there, and
Yep.
you have a hard time switching them to your world religion, having the wonders kind of cancels out not being on your state
The
religion.
opinion bonus. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we should talk about? Or again, congrats on the victory. Very fun game. Learned a lot. I have a whole new strategy that I'm like, oh, trying this out in all my games now.
That
People are
was,
like, why are you going Orator? I'm like, oh,
yeah.
you have no idea.
I mean, I was trying it out in this
Yeah,
game,
yeah,
and I mean, as I mentioned, I got lucky with quite a few things in the early game that made this strategy come online really well.
yeah.
And you can definitely be unlucky in a few of
Yes.
those cases and have it be slower, but it's still really strong, I think.
I think
Even
it's
if it
just,
doesn't run optimally, as
I
long as you
think,
pay attention to all
yeah, the
these
balance.
points and
Yeah.
resources, you should do well.
I think the big thing is just it lets your production queues ignore building early military,
Yeah.
which you don't really want to build warriors because they're not great. They're
I
slow.
mean, they can still be upgraded later. That's
Yeah, yeah, but you like
it's not a hard problem, but yeah.
if you can avoid building them until your cities are ready to build units, why not, right? Like it's not an efficient use of your production queue. Every
I
additional
think that's
worker.
that's usually, or that's what I thought about when thinking about other
Yeah.
leaders for Persia. It's like
Yeah.
water you're limited on early, and most of the time it's orders.
Yep. But not
Whereas
with Persia
Persia,
Schemer.
since you had
Not with
more
Schemer
leeway,
Persia.
you can do.
Yeah.
I mean, with the Orator, you're getting even more orders eventually.
Yeah. Yes, because it
But
scales at
the other
cities.
things that you're limited on is your production queue.
Hmm.
In terms of do you get enough units out to clear camps? Do you get enough settlers out to settle those
Yep.
camps and such? And so the Orator basically means with the tribal mercs, you don't need to build military units. So this makes your production queues
Yep.
focus just on economy and growth. And you get the orders to control your military and
Yeah.
workers through getting your families friendly and get your units through tribal marks, and so everything falls in place that way.
Yeah. I think it's also worth noting, since a lot of the tribal events get that warrior, give you an event that give you a warrior, or a warrior and one charisma, which is just like, I will gladly take one
Yeah, there's some
charisma.
good
Oh,
tribal clear events. I mean, there's
yeah.
the one bad one that either you pay a bunch or you
Yes, the
get a bunch of
rebels.
rebels or you become
Oh,
cruel. And
yeah.
becoming cruel early is the worst.
In one of my games, that was my first tribal clear event, and I was just very sad because I took cruel because I couldn't deal with 3 rebels and I couldn't afford buying whatever exorbitant amount of food they wanted. So I was like, I guess I have to take cruel, and my leader's already my governor. This sucks. So yeah, but yeah, the fact that you have all these warriors that you get from tribal clearing that you can then upgrade to spears is very nice. So cool. Amazing. Congrats on the win. As always, a pleasure playing with you, even though I think my record against you is now 0-6. So every game I'm losing in new and interesting ways. So thank you.
You're welcome. Always a pleasure.
Yep. All right. Take care. Have a good one.